You're watching Bloomberg News. I'm Mark Crumpton in New York. Thanks for joining us. You have been following these hearings on Capitol Hill today. Former Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson being grilled by lawmakers about his role in that Bank of America Merrill Lynch deal. Mr. Paulson facing some tough questioning, and earlier today telling the lawmakers that the actions they took were objectionable to some and maybe even to himself. But given the economic climate that the country found itself in, there was no alternative. Alan Villalon is a buy-side analyst at First America Funds, which owns shares of Bank of America. He's been listening in to the Paulson hearing. Alan joins us now from Minneapolis with more. Alan, thanks and welcome to Bloomberg News.
Thank you for having me on.
Alan, I was wondering if you might give us your thoughts on what Mr. Paulson had to say today during his testimony.
Well, it's been a pretty interesting day for Paulson out there. I feel like he's been skewered up on Capitol Hill, but he's done a pretty fine job trying to answer the questions to the best of his ability. Hopefully we can get through all this grandstanding right now and start focusing on the fundamentals of Bank of America again.
Well, you say skewered and you say grandstanding. There was one contentious point where he was being questioned by Ohio Democrat Marcy Kaptur, and that got a little heated. Why do you believe that he's being skewered, and why do you believe it's grandstanding? The lawmakers contend that they're just trying to get to the bottom of this.
Well, I think, it's an interest of the taxpayers to understand what really went down with Bank of America and Merrill Lynch. They really want some answers out there, but I don't ever think we'll get to those answers.
Why do you
That's why I think
say
there's a lot
that?
of grandstanding going.
Why do you say you don't think we'll get to the answers?
Well, I think that, everyone's right now trying to say that, we didn't pressure Bank of America into the situation. But at the end of the day, Ken Lewis is saying that he was. So we have a lot of he said, she said going on right now. So that's why I don't think we'll ever get clarity on the situation.
Alan, do you think that the market wants to get some closure to this story?
Definitely. I think we would like to get over the short-term noise and, again, just focus on the fundamentals of Bank of America.
I was wondering if we might switch gears just a little bit, and let's talk about J.P. Morgan's earnings today. What did you think of that news?
There was some really good glimmers of hope out of J.P. Morgan's numbers today. We saw some improvement in the early stage of delinquencies for both credit cards and home equity. So we're looking at that as a read-through that hopefully we're turning the corner in this credit cycle. And maybe, we could parlay this into other bets within the banking universe right now. We saw some positive numbers out of J.P. Morgan today. We're seeing that maybe this is a turning point for overall the banking sector. And we're pretty optimistic right now.
And J.P. Morgan saying that profit rose for the first time since 2007 on record investment banking fees. Do you believe that this might be the catalyst, or at least these are the jumper cables that might be getting the banking sector and the economy as a whole moving again?
Well, what we're seeing right now is that the capital markets guys are turning sooner than the regional banks right now. So, we expect the capital markets activity to be more strong to offset some of the credit losses that we're seeing from the regional banks right now, the regional bank exposure. So we still have probably 2 to 3 more quarters of pain, but we still think that, we see more of an end in sight now than more deterioration going forward, or more dramatic deterioration. So right now where we...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, what we see right now is that, J.P. Morgan's almost like a fine wine. A couple years from now, it's going to be a lot better than it is right now. The results that we saw today were very top-heavy. Revenues were around $28 billion, but net income was only $3 billion. But if we start seeing signs of stabilization in those credit trends, that net income number has humongous potential for us, and we could see them generating earnings north of possibly $4 or $5.
Alan, First America Funds also owns shares of Bank of America as well as J.P. Morgan. This Bank of America story that is being discussed on Capitol Hill today, what matters now is Ken Lewis, if he's open to any liability by shareholders. What does that mean for the company going forward?
Well, we are concerned about that. I mean, when we look at Ken Lewis's what's going on with him right now, we're worried about management changes going forward and how much it could be the disruption for the company over the next 6 to 18 months. So hopefully we can get closure in that sooner than later, so we could really start looking at the company itself and saying, look, Bank of America right now is generating maybe 40, 50 cents on earnings this year, but we could see it generating anywhere from $2.50 to $3 on earnings a couple years out. The sooner we can get over these issues, the sooner we can have the company generating its full potential.
Alan Villalon of First American Funds joining us from Minneapolis discussing the Paulson hearing and Bank of America and J.P. Morgan. Alan, thanks so much. Let's take you back to Capitol Hill. Former